Okay, how does weed affect your dopamine? Does it help? Does it hurt? What's the deal? Stick around to find out. Okay, first, what's dopamine? And is that where we get the slang dope derived from? Okay, no, but that's kind of what I thought at first. But actually, dope is derived from the Dutch doop, which means dipping sauce, which was used in opium smoking back in the day. But anyways, how does dopamine work in our body? So, dopamine is a neurotransmitter made in your brain. Your body makes it, and your nervous system uses it to send messages between nerve cells. That's why it's sometimes called a chemical messenger. It plays a role as a reward center and in many body functions, including memory, movement, motivation, mood, attention, pain processing, sleep, learning, and more. Dopamine also acts as a hormone. As a hormone, dopamine is released into your bloodstream. It's made in the brain through a two-step process. First, it changes the amino acid tyrosine to a substance called dopa, and then into dopamine. So it is basically a mailman in your brain that delivers messages that dictates how you process different situations. In the word of these Hubermanist podcasters, dopamine has become a very popular topic in relation to young men and how we deal with it. Apparently, we are always looking for ways to increase our dopamine levels, whether we achieve it through working hard at a goal over a long period of time, or simply just watching porn, playing video games, eating a snack, smoking weed, etc. So, is it a sin to increase your dopamine levels by smoking weed? Well, yes and no. If we smoke a joint every now and then, you would definitely get a dopamine increase, but that's okay to do it every now and then. But researchers have advised that repeated use of cannabis over a long period of time can reduce your dopamine brain response. Okay, so how does weed affect your brain? The main psychoactive ingredient, THC, stimulates the part of your brain that responds to pleasure, just like food and sex. That unleashes the dopamine, which gives you a euphoric, relaxed feeling. The THC level usually peaks in about 30 minutes, and the effects wear off in about 1 to 3 hours. That's if you're smoking it. But if you drink or eat cannabis in edible forms, it may take many hours for you to actually fully sober up. Okay, here's when we start getting to a possible issue with weed. About 1 in 10 people who use marijuana will become addicted, also known as cannabis use disorder. This means that you can't stop using it even if it harms your relationships, school, jobs, health, or finances. The CDC also states that you have a 10% risk of cannabis use disorder if you even use marijuana. The chances are greater the younger you start using and the more heavily you use it. For instance, the odds of addiction are 1 in 6 if you use pot in your teen years. It might be as high as 1 in 2 among those who use it every day. Okay, so let's go back to the brain and weed. Weed does contain cannabinoids, which is one of the main components found in CBD. CBD basically helps your system handle anxiety, mood, insomnia, and pain without getting you high. The interesting thing is that your body already has cannabinoids. They are often called endocannabinoids, and they regulate several bodily functions including sleep, mood, appetite, learning, memory, body temperature, pain, immune functions, and fertility. They control some of these same functions by regulating nerve cells that signal in your brain. So in short, they do the same thing as CBD, plus a little bit more, and again, without getting you high. So let's talk about this high thing, since that is probably one of the main reasons people tend to abuse weed. Getting high is really just one of the bonuses of using cannabis, but it sometimes becomes the main driver the more you use it. And of course, the more you use it, the more you become immune to the effect. So in turn, you need to smoke more or use a stronger dose. After doing this for years and years and years, it throws off the dopamine levels in your system. On top of you needing more weed to achieve a substantial high, your dopamine levels decrease when you actually quit weed. In turn, your body has to relearn how to achieve normal dopamine levels by doing things that give you the natural high, such as sleep, exercise, completing a task, doing a hobby, getting a job promotion, having a good conversation, the list goes on. So in conclusion, you are pretty much getting a cheap high by smoking or vaping weed. That is, if you're doing it recreationally. And if you repeat this day after day, year after year, your body may not naturally respond to the natural highs of life. We want our bodies to work how they are supposed to work. And dopamine is very important to our daily functions as it controls memory, movement, motivation, mood, attention, pain processing, sleep, learning, and more. So it controls a lot of shit. To increase your dopamine naturally, let's work at it. There's this thing called delayed gratification. And if you put work into something, such as running a 5K, after you practice weeks and weeks and months, and you finally complete it, the high you get from completing that journey in life is way more rewarding than just smoking a blunt on the porch. Now again, if it's your birthday, you want to smoke a blunt, do you? But be careful not to fall into the cycle of addiction. Your future self will thank you.